Hello my fellow vapors, welcome to another video. Today the Sigelei 20 watt, a little bit late to this. I've been using it for quite a long time now. Probably one of the few devices I have been really pleased coming out of China. I don't think I've been so impressed with a device since the Ego Twist, and that was quite a long time ago. Very simple system to get into. It is a strictly variable wattage device, regulated power device, which is good, especially for new vapors. Not a lot of settings on there to go between volts and watts and going through menu systems to check your resistance or your battery lifespan. Everything's on the screen for you. You're going to set it one time, find the wattage, the heat that you like, and you're pretty much going to leave it on there. No matter what you're going to put on there, it's going to give you the right voltage to the coils so you can have a pleasurable vape. Let's get started down low with the Sigelei 20 watt. Alright, we are up close with the VariTube. All stainless steel construction. Pretty impressive for a Chinese product, except these little chrome plated accents. You have these little rings on the screen, one where the battery tube meets the control head, and of course the fire button. The fire button does have a little bit of play, if you can see that, but overall pretty firm, pretty responsive, and it does have that nice little click to it. Let's start from the top. We do have a flat top cap here if you want to put down your tanks and flush mount them. There are these air slots on the top cap as well too. This is 23 millimeters in diameter though, so not a lot of this stuff that's available now, including the K-Fun, will sit nice and flush as far as the body is concerned. However, you are able to flush mount the device that you're going to be using, the accessory that you're going to be using, flush with the top cap. We'll go ahead and remove this top cap. That is going to expose some ego threading. So if you have any of the tanks that require ego threading, you do not have to use an adapter. For example, here I have the Kangaroo Mini Aero tank. I can thread directly that onto the device and use it. One little thing in this mode is that keep in mind that the threading from the top cap will be exposed while you're using it. There's nothing here to cover that up, so just something that you should know. Before I show you the pin, let me remove the battery before we have any shorts. Threading on this between the battery tube, the top threading, pretty good. The bottom cap is a little bit scrunchy when you have a battery inside, but I've certainly seen worse. There's the bottom spring, pretty beefy, no complaints. 3 vent holes on the bottom, and then appears to have a little number C58. Now I've seen some other of these devices and the number does change, so it could be a quality control type thing. Let me remove the battery. What you can see up here, that's one of the issues that I had with the ZNA. We have a spring loaded 510 pin, so no matter what you're going to put in there, you are going to make connection. If you have something that protrudes just a little bit more, it will push down that pin and it'll flush mount on top. Let me remove the main battery tube. There is your stainless steel tube. It does have this matte type brushed finish on the tube. Of course, that's going to fall under the preference category if you like this kind of look or not. I don't have any issues with it. And there's your control head. Now, interestingly enough, I said, control head. I wonder if my stainless steel telescoping bod by Leo, and it actually does thread. It doesn't thread all the way up, but it does catch some thread. So if you wanted to change the look, you are going to have a little bit of a gap there. It doesn't go all the way up, but it does thread on there. But that now just makes it into telescopic mode. So if I wanted to put an 18350 battery, I could certainly use that like that. And I'm sure some of the other accessories that are out there, and if they're not out yet, I'm sure some are coming. They're going to be able to replace this tube and give you some more variety of options. All right. Let's put it back together. Let's get a little tube on there. Always suggest IMR batteries. We're going to use an AW IMR here. Put our bottom cap on. Put our little top cap on. And now we need 5 clicks to turn on the device. Even though when you put the battery inside, you do get the SX200 logo, which is the actual chipset that this device uses, you still have to click 5 times to turn on the device. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the chip, SX200. And then now this gives us the display screen. Every time that you remove the battery, it resets the device to 10 watts. One of my little gripes here. But if you turn it off and turn it back on, it does remember all the settings that you had on it. All right, so this is your display screen. On the top, we'll see the wattage setting, currently set at 10 watts. Right below it, you're going to see the voltage output. So once you have an atomizer set here to 10 watts, after you press the fire button, it'll display how much voltage that it's given to the atomizer. Right below it, you're going to see the resistance of the atomizer that you have attached. It says 2.5 now, even though we don't have anything on there. Not really sure why. And then it's going to show us the battery remaining. It's kind of funny because it's a real-time battery output. And you're going to see here with this battery that I have on here, this battery is actually pretty old. So it's really funny to see when you press the button how your battery reacts. And that kind of gives you an idea of how old your batteries are. I see there the lifespan on that battery is 3.63 volts. And so as soon as I hit the button to fire it, automatically it drops down. Let's put a fresh battery inside here. I don't even know why I put this battery. All right, let me see if I can find one of the Optronics. S630. All right. This one should be fully charged. Again, you're going to see the logo. 5 clicks, turn it back on. It's reset itself to 10 watts. And now you see with a fully charged battery, 4.2 volts, that is pretty accurate. As soon as I press the button, the voltage indicator, the battery indicator comes down. All right, let's get a little bit to the menu system, which is pretty simple. Five clicks to get into the menu system. Here you can turn the device on and off. If I turn it to the left, it's going to turn off the device, says bye-bye. And now the device is on. 5 clicks to turn it back on. And then, unfortunately, you have to do another 5 clicks to get into the menu system again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our system. Now we want to get into the system. We hit the button, and then we have our wattage display. Here we can adjust the watts. See if I can get that into a little better angle. So if we want to change the watts lower, all we do is tilt the device to the left. It has like a gravity sensor inside. Turn it to the left. The more you hold it, the faster it's going to go. And it stops at 7 watts. It doesn't round robin. If I turn it to the right, you'll see it going up slowly. Then it's going to go faster and faster, all the way up to 20 watts. Let's go back down. Let's put it about 13 watts. And here's where it gets a little bit tricky. You want to get to about 13 watts. What? I hit it right on the one. It's the first time that's ever happened. But as it's going fast, you can understand trying to stop it. You might have to go back and forth to fine-tune it to find the wattage that you like. Once you have it in there, we select it. We can actually go back to the system. We can go back to wattage. The actual menu system round robins as well too. That will turn it off. That will set the wattage again. And now we're on exit. If I go left and right, we've exited and we have set the device to 13 watts and we're ready to vape. Let's put this K-Fun light that I have on here. And you're going to see that it absolutely sits flush with the device itself, but since it's 22 millimeters, it is a little bit smaller when it goes up. So I press the button. This is a 0.8 ohm coil according to this device. And at 13 watts that I have it set, it's giving me 3.73 volts. Now, just for comparison purposes, okay? Let me take this out and put it on a DNA 20 chip, something that a lot of people asked me to do when I got this device. So here I have a little Mamu Stealth. Let me put my K-Phone on here. Let me set it to 13 watts. This one is showing that it's 0.9 ohm resistance. And at 13 watts is giving me 3.6 volts. So pretty close. And I've tested pretty much everything on here. And it is pretty darn accurate. As far as the output of the signal, no caterpillars here. No, you don't have that pulse width modulation. You have a nice, smooth signal. Everything that I've put on here down to 0.6 ohm has fired with no issues whatsoever. It does advertise that it fires 0.5 ohms. However, in my experience, it gives me a low resistance warning and it does not fire them. 0.6 and above, no issues whatsoever. All right, so that was an up-close look. Let me put my K-Fun light back on here. 0.8 ohms according to this device. I have it set at 13 watts. It's giving us about 3.7 volts. No complaints there. Nice, smooth signal. It fires every time. Great vape. The only thing I noticed was the resistance was a point difference between this and the DNA device on this one, and also the Kangar Ira Tank Mini, which I'm going to show you on here now. I'm going to remove the K-Fun light, remove the top cap, and this is what I want to show you as far as somebody that's new. What I mentioned earlier in the video. Once you set it to the wattage setting, the heat that you like, you don't really have to worry about it. We're going to leave it at 13 watts. We're going to put this Kangar Tank Ira Tank Mini, which I've been really enjoying. I like it much better than the Mega. I know Phil did a video on him about a week ago. He absolutely loves him as well. He prefers the Mega over the Mini, but I think that's just going to fall down to flavor preference. To me, the Mini has been working absolutely fantastic. So you see there we have it with an Ego threading. I'm going to leave it on 13 watts as I had it, but when I press the button, it automatically adjusts the voltage up to 4.26 volts for this 1.4 ohm head as it's listed on this device. Now, if I take this and I put it on a DNA device, it says it's 1.5 ohms. So there's a little discrepancy there as far as the resistance. However, it automatically adjusts the voltage based on the wattage setting that you had. That's pretty nice for a new vapor, for somebody that's wanting to upgrade from an Ego style device. Something easy, you just set it on the wattage that you want. Anything you're going to put on there is going to be automatically adjusted to your taste. Just absolutely fantastic vape. All right, let me take this off. What else can I show you on here? This is a 23 millimeter device, so one of the few 23 millimeter atomizers that I have, the Expromizer. That sits nice and flush top to bottom. Of course, the stainless steel finish is different. The last thing I'm going to put on here so we can wrap this video up, I have this Omega built with a dual coil system, 1.5 ohm, using 32 gauge wire. Just to kind of show you that you don't really need low resistance to get big clouds. Now, I'm going to set this to 20 watts. Take it all the way up. All right. Set it at 20 watts with a 1.5 build. Let me get a little bit of e-liquid on this thing because I'm sure it's a little bit dry. This is my little fun atomizer. All right, here we go. 20 watts with a 1.5 ohm build. It's giving us 5.47 volts. You don't have to go really sub-ohm to get huge clouds and good flavor. In fact, if I take this and put it on a DNA 30 device and crank it up to 25 watts, massive, massive clouds of vapor. Fantastic. All right. Nothing really much else to show you on here. I can put a few more tanks, but you get the idea. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, get some final thoughts. All right, you know, when you rebuild your tanks and your atomizers and everything's just hitting so well and just tastes fantastic. I'm having a great vape week so far. This is the box that it came in with, and that's it. The box and the device itself. This came from Veritube. They also included a set of instructions, not the best instructions in the world. However, this is not really a complicated device. Very easy to navigate through the menu. I'd like to see the instructions a little bit more detailed about safety, and especially for new vapors, understanding variable wattage and variable voltage and the difference and how you can achieve a better vape. All right, I've seen this listed anywhere from $120 to $145. Veritube sells it for $120, $119.95. Is that price worth it? Well, absolutely it is. It works fantastic. It does come into the range of higher end mods though. That gap is starting to close. You go from $120 to $170 where you can get a DNA device today or a ProVeri. That gap is about $50. I'd like to see this in the $100 range. That would be ultimately, to me, a price where I can suggest it to a new vapor, and it kind of distance itself from the higher end mods that are out there. It's worth every bit of 120 bucks because it works. It works fantastic. I have no issues with the way that it performs. Very easy to navigate, just variable wattage, nothing else in there to confuse new vapors. What setting do I put it on voltage? How do I check my atomizer? How do I check my battery? Everything is boom right there on the OLED screen for you. The only thing that I would suggest for these devices coming out of China would be the chipset. If you are satisfied with 20 watts, certainly something that you can pick up. If you want higher wattages, wait, because it's coming. The SX22, which goes up to 22 watts, is already out. I have the device coming, and I've heard that there's a 30-watt chip in the works from the same company as well. So if you're looking to go to something higher, just hold off for a little bit. They're going to be coming. If you're using an MVP, which limits you to, which works fantastic, but limits you to 11 watts, and that's not satisfactory, you want to bump it up anywhere between 11 and 20 watts, this is the device I would suggest from now on and recommend to new vapors as well as veteran vapors are looking for a form-style 18650 variable wattage device. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please drop me a line, vapeinggreek@vapeteam.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, G+, Instagram, and demisphere.com, or catch me with the Vape Team. Thank you for watching.